I just wanted to say on camera the facts of my childhood, um, just so I'm not in denial about anything. Everybody, everybody turned against me, basically. Um, all family turned against me. Um, that's the facts. A lot of betrayal to the people that are supposed to protect you and care about you and be there for you and support you. And yeah, those are the hard facts. But they'll do a lot of talking with their mouth saying, oh, we were there for them. We were, this and that. Don't believe it. Don't believe any of it. It's not true. Um, the truth is horrifying. uh, it's worse than fiction. um, I can specifically remember times where uh, both parents um, turned against me um, in a not just a physical sense, but a verbal sense. I can remember specific times. Um, and I think the most disappointing part of it all was, I was disappointed in that. I've been disappointed ever since these certain events, but um, the most disappointing thing of it all was they were pretending to be uh, strong uh, God followers, like very strong. You know what I mean? Like that was the false front, the facade. And so it was just it was very hard, and it still is hard to convince myself that God is not one of them. um, when it was very clear to me, not just from these certain events, but just like if I analyze my life as a whole, it was very clear that they were in the in crowd with God, and I was suffering over here, you know, without God. You know what I mean? There was a clear separation between the two groups, between them, the God followers, and then me, the loner. And I do admit, uh, Satan got to me because of all that. I was like, um, I was sympathizing with the guy, which was, hindsight 2020, but uh, I sympathized with him because like I was betrayed, and like God didn't intervene, and so I was like, I I totally uh, felt sympathy for the guy, like I got the whole story wrong, uh, like Satan was like me, the outcast of the perfect crowd. You know what I mean? Uh, like, like I thought he was the good guy in all of it. Like with the story between him and God, because it appeared, it appeared from a kid's perspective, from where I was, from my vantage point, plus being uh, strangled in front of a church. You know what I'm saying? The elements were all there, to be like, okay, uh, I totally understand Satan's side of the story. You know what I mean? But in the end, I was betrayed, because Satan always betrays everybody, even his followers, he betrays. I mean, he's the king of betrayal too, so, uh, I was betrayed later on in life, and I do, remember that well. And then, after Satan pretty much, um, left me in ruin, uh, God, that's when God stepped in for what it seemed the first time in my life that I could notice that God stepping in, you know. But it was very confusing why God stepped in, like, you know, and it's still confusing to this day. I don't know why, because uh, my childhood showed me that God was not that type of person, that would, go out of his way for a child to defend one of his children. That that didn't happen when I was young. None of that. I didn't get that kind of love, protection from, uh, any higher power back then. None. I took the physical assaults head on. Uh, I took the strangulation head on. All these things I took head on. You know, no intervention, nothing. And so I'm just like, so I had this perspective of what God was, like most of my life, and it's a big uh, unmotivator, huge unmotivator to think that God is against you no matter what you do. No matter what you do, God is against you because He didn't intervene. He didn't intervene to help you against anything that was done for decades. Like anything, verbal assault, emotional abuse, physical assault, nothing, no intervention. And so I thought it was clear cut that God was like the narcissist. I didn't know what a narcissist was, but God was like them, and Satan was like me. You know, so that's how I thought for most of my life. Like Satan was the outcast, I was the outcast. Big outcast of the family. My family were the God followers, in their group, and God favored them. And that seemed very clear to me that God favored them, very clear. Uh, and so I was just like, fuck it. I guess it's just me and the devil, you know. But in the end, like I was betrayed, and then I tried I tried to attempt suicide, um, and I I was hoping it would have been successful, but God didn't want me to die for some reason. But he had no problem with me getting strangled. He had no problem with me getting abused in my childhood. But God has a problem with me attempting suicide. With you know, it's just it makes no sense to my brain. And so a lot of the last 7 years has been confusion of what is God doing? Why is God helping me? Why? After 29 years of nothing, you know, taking all the abuse from family, now he wants to be my friend, now he wants to help. It's just been like I don't believe this effort. Like it's like I don't believe it. I don't believe God is fully sincere even now, like because my past is so solid, of the events that happened. My past is so solid that God is not a good dude. What's the end game? Uh, what does God want to use me for? The Satan wanted to use me, and narcissists want to use me. Now, what does God want to use me for? It's just like I have a hard time telling the difference between God, narcissists, and Satan. As you can see, they're all like in the same group of uh, let's torture Adam as much as we can and use him and then spread him thin and then toss him toss him to the wayside like he's a piece of trash. Um, and then another person will come in, like I've been betrayed by all three in my mind. Like God for watching the abuse, that's one betrayal. My my family for doing the abuse, that's two betrayal. And then Satan betrayed me too. So who do you trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But I know I'm not innocent. I don't deserve to be helped. I really don't think I do deserve to be helped uh, by anybody. Um, I, I was on the dark side. Like I was on the opposition because I was so pissed of abuse in religion and uh, the hypocrisy was so strong. I was just like, of course I'm going to choose the opposition. You know what I mean? Uh, but anyways, that's all. I just wanted to vent for a little bit. It's just my whole life has been confusing, as you can tell. Um, very confusing. And if I wasn't born in religion, it probably wouldn't be confusing. Um, because that that false front that my family puts out there of being God's followers is a huge mind screw. Like, oh, it was pretty obvious. God favors them, God doesn't favor me. It was very obvious. And so, you know, obviously, I I was in a vulnerable position. Like I sympathized with Satan basically, when I was younger. And even though I was betrayed, you know, I still saw his side of things. Like, yeah, this whole thing is fucked up. The whole religion's fucked up. The whole family's fucked up. That's pretending to be God followers, and then God watching all this shit going down. That's fucked up too. you know, like that's how I saw things, and so I just stopped trying, basically. You know. Um, but anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Just like